All right, welcome back, folks. Welcome back. It's William, the director of the TeamWorks program. So we're still in the anger management and conflict resolution phase. Again, the anger management and conflict resolution phase. So today's activity, very appropriate, very fitting, really going to stimulate some good conversation. It's called mock trial. Again, mock trial, just like, a good old-fashioned traditional trial that you may have heard about on the news, or maybe you have participated in a trial yourself. Hopefully you weren't a defendant in a trial, but no judgment here. But anyway, today's activity is a mock trial. So what's the purpose of today's activity? The purpose of today's activity is to stimulate conversation and thought around social, moral, and ethical values. To stimulate conversation and thought around moral, social, and ethical values. And having students really think about the short-term and the long-term effects of their decisions and their actions. Really thinking about the short-term and the long-term effects of what may appear to be a very good decision in the moment, but might have some really grave or serious consequences down the road. So kind of keep that in mind. Keep that in the forefront of your mind. So, how are we going to start off? We're going to start off with our question of the day. How does society determine right from wrong? That's a good one. How does society determine right from wrong? All right? Now let's get started with our energizer. 2 truths and a whopper. 2 truths and a whopper. Pretty simply, your kids will stay in a circle. They'll each get a little piece of paper. Ask them to add 3 statements about themselves. 2 of them will be a truth, and 1 of them, if I may, will be a lie. Something not so true. So, for example, I might write, William is 21 years old. William was born in Miami, Florida, and William drives a black Chrysler 300 with rims. And then we're going to go around and we're going to share our 3 statements, and it's the choice of the students to kind of figure out which one is the lie. Which one is the lie? So mine are all true. I am 21. I was born in Miami, and I drive a Chrysler. Anyway, all jokes aside, now we'll get into the main activity. And the main activity is mock trial. So here's your case really quickly. Jordan, this is a student. Hopefully, you can make it pretend to be like it's one of their peers. Law-abiding student, really good kid, never gets in trouble. One day, his mom becomes really sick. The dad takes the mom to the doctor. The doctor prescribes this very expensive medication. She does well on the medication, and she starts to recover. However, Jordan's family doesn't have insurance. There's not a lot of income in the family, so they can't afford to keep buying that medication. So as a result, they don't buy the medication anymore. Mom gets really sick, takes a turn for the worse. Well, one day Jordan's at the pharmacy picking up something for the family, notices that there's a medication that's sitting on the counter. Nobody's around. It's up for the taking, and he makes a very difficult decision at that moment, and that is he wants to save his mom, so he steals the medication. And that's your case right there. So that's what your judge is going to read out loud once you put everybody in the room together. So let's first assign some roles. So our roles are a judge, a defense attorney, a plaintiff, your jurors, and you're going to ask your jurors to leave the room for the first part of this. You've got your pharmacy owner, who again is a plaintiff, and then you've got your defendant, Jordan. So just to make things just a little bit more fun, maybe you make some little signs, pull out that construction paper. Maybe you have Judge Judy, the highest paid judge on TV. Maybe your defense attorney's Johnny Cochran, and so on and so forth. Just to make a little fun. And, it might be easy for the jurors when they're sitting across seeing everybody just to remember who's who. All right? So again, assign all the roles. Have your jurors go outside the room for a minute. While they're outside, your plaintiff and your defendants are consulting with their attorney. So what are they doing when they're consulting? Coming up with their opening remarks, their questions. They're going to have to come up with about 10 questions. 5 questions go to the plaintiff, 5 questions go to the defendant, and then their closing remarks. They're going to talk about that for about 10 minutes. You're going to ask your jurors to come back in. So one of your mentors might be outside with your jurors. Take them for a walk. Come back. Have your jurors take their seat. Make sure they take some really good notes. Ask them to take some copious notes, because you want them to really be able to deliberate on facts, incidents, or just some great things that they should be thinking about as they come to their conclusion on the case. And then voila, once everybody's seated and situated, again, your judge will read the case out loud, and then your plaintiff will go first with his opening remarks. Defendant will go next with their opening remarks. The judge will ask the plaintiff to take the stand. The plaintiff will ask, of course, the pharmacy owner his 5 questions. And then cross-examining takes place. The defendant's attorney comes up, asks another 5 questions, and that's pretty much it. So next, what happens? the process kind of repeats itself. Now Jordan, the defendant, comes up. His attorney asks his 5. The plaintiff's attorney, the pharmacy owner, asks their 5. And boom, you're done. You'll have both attorneys stand up, present to the jurors their closing remarks. Come up with some good closing remarks. Ask them to come up with some good closing remarks so they can sway that jury. And that's it at the end of the day. So while your jury is delivering and going through their notes, ask them this question right here, as I said to you earlier, about your consequences and actions. So here are the facts. Should Jordan be punished for stealing? Jordan did steal something. He broke the law. We understand that his mom was really sick, but he broke the law. So should he be punished for stealing? And if yes, what is the punishment? So if yes, what is the punishment? And then they'll deliberate, they'll stand up, and they'll give their final conclusions. And that's mock trial. It's my favorite activity, you guys, to really get into, really provoke and stimulate that conversation. Again, remember, this is about talking about moral, ethical, and social values. And when you consider the populations that we work with, sometimes those lines are a little fuzzy or a little blurred. A lot of times our kids, being risk takers, think of the short term and don't think of the long term. All right? So, do your questions of the day. Don't forget your one big thing I learned, which should be really interesting this week. Distribute your team bucks. And most importantly, though it might be a little thought-provoking, a little serious in nature, it's still a lot of fun. It's still a lot of fun. The kids are really creative. They've really got great rebuttals and thoughts around, issues like this. So have a lot of fun. That's my favorite F word, F-U-N, fun. And it's Will signing out.